really know. I mean, I like VR chat. I don't know what to think about Meta itself. They're cool, I guess.
Yeah, I think
They
it's a
made
little
this?
forceful.
I'm curious.
The digital world a commodity to buy and sell. They're literally trying to make spaces that they're going to gatekeep from you to make money. It's capitalist, classist, piece of shit marketing tactic. Like, these people are just in it to make more money, the same way NFT bros were going to pull the rug out from other people to make money off of them. It's the same thing with Meta.
Although owning an apartment in Meta does sound kind of cool. No cap.
The company that takes a VR and stumps it into the ground, aka Meta, aka Facebook, aka Lizard Overlord Mark Zuckerberg. Or we have Valve, who actually put multiple millions of dollars into the Vive project way before the Oculus was even a thing, and now has one of the state-of-the-art VR headsets, you know, this thing, and also made one of the best VR games of all time. I think I know who I would put my money on if it comes to VR development.
If you look at the facts, the first launch of it, they didn't have any legs on the avatars, and apparently that caters to the uncanny valley of the human mind. So they spent a couple of $1 billion trying to fix it and, you know, put legs on the avatars.
Well, I would hope they would do something good with it, but right now it's just that Horizon world when you got like no legs.
Well, I don't know. I don't have anything against them per se. They provide good products. I'm satisfied with everything they do. I don't really care about the privacy aspect of it all.
I don't know that I have much to say other than that they suck.
Why do they suck though? For what reason?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Meta reminds me a lot of when Samsung first started getting into VR, and when I got my first VR headset, it was I had like the Google Cardboard, you know? So for me, Meta, yes, they do a lot of iffy things, but for a lot of people, their first headset was the Quest. There's the ugly, there's the pretty, but ultimately, Meta is whatever.
Only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing.
Meta is ass. Meta is like, they put like $50,000 billion into that shit, and it looks like Roblox. It looks worse than Roblox. Mark Zuckerberg is probably gonna be the king of the world. If VRChat dies, he's gonna be the ruler. But right now,
I think they've done a big 180 of what their focus is. You know, their focus was data collecting and stuff. And I still think it's mostly data collecting. I mean, that's definitely where they're getting all their money from. I think they're trying to revolutionize an industry that they're trying to make use for this in a way that it isn't used, and trying to innovate the game in a way. I just think it's a bit too early for this kind of thing. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a dude on a quest, so.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the guy who created all that, originally created like the Quest and all the actual VR setup, what was it, the Oculus or whatever? I think that dude needs to lock his phones and electronics and all that stuff up, go out in the woods and just, I don't know, disconnect from everything for a while. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man, that dude going full Sword Art Online on us, shoot, man, I'm tell you right now, that's just crazy, man. So that's somebody spent way too much time in this stuff, you ask me. I don't know. I got other things I got to do other than just play video games. I've got, don't get me wrong, I enjoy gaming. I really do. It's just, I have to really kind of set my own time limits and stuff.
I mean, you gotta give it to him. He might not be the super best. He did something pretty great either way. So kind of respect the dude for providing for the average consumer Oculus Quest 2, for example, right? Extremely user-friendly price-wise. I kind of respect him for doing that, because if not for them, I wouldn't be in VR at the moment, because I'm broke as hell.
But just means there's a bunch of little kids on this game, and they really shouldn't be, because the kids get the Quest 2 for Christmas for their birthday or whatever, and then they're all on VR chat, and I mean, that's the reason I come to this world, is because, well, I have nothing against people using the Quest at all. I mean, it's a great headset, especially for the price, but it just has allowed so many kids to get on this game that really I feel like shouldn't.
Facebook already has a pretty neutral/negative reputation among most people. The reason no one likes Facebook even more now is because of Meta, because no one likes Meta because they're kind of pushing it into us, right? They're like, you will have to use this later on. I don't think it's going to be big. Like, it'll probably have an audience like most things, because for every big corporation, there's like an audience, like fanboys, right? Or people that just try it out and then get into like the whole sunk cost fallacy thing. When you get into something, but can't really leave because of the time and resources you've put into it.
I know Facebook went through a whole lot with all the election stuff and the BLM stuff that was going on in the past few years. I think it left a bad taste in some people's mouth, and it kind of felt like Meta was a rebranding to get away from that, but that's kind of my own, I don't know, conspiracy.
This game is free, and Meta is trying to be VR chat, because here's where you can upload avatars, you can upload worlds, and you can create spaces, but in Meta, it's predefined what the company makes for you, so it's more rigid, more stale. Graphics-wise, the Quest is competing with Nintendo Switch, like in terms of onboard processor, graphics card, it's competing with simple graphics run at virtual VR. Many people don't like a Meta simply because it looks like a Nintendo title. The graphics are very simple, textures are very bland. Even Mark Zuckerberg's avatar himself looked kind of like something out of a zombie movie, honestly. And it's also corporatism.
Another like company that really did like pave the way for like VR would be Valve, but as of recently, Valve kind of started selling a lot of their VR patents. They're not really too deep into VR anymore. So I think Meta is also picking up that mantle that Valve had. Just a thought. After the Valve Index, they were planning on making another VR headset. I forgot what the project name was called, but they ended up selling it to the VR company that starts with a P. They sold their patents for their next headset to them so that they can make it instead, because Valve was like, we're kind of stepping a little bit away from it.
What Meta is doing, it's like all of us are not their target audience, but what they're trying to do is like more of a corporate of like remote workers and trying to have like group things remotely, if that makes sense. So it's not like we're the target audience, but at the same time, there's also a lot of weird things going on with the fact that they're, you know, once we're $1 trillion company, and like now, like if you look at their stock prices, you know, it's like swindled to like what, 75% of what it used to be.
Well, I drive a truck, but for the most part, I actually work local right now. I'm fixing to be going back over the road the end of this month for a company out of Kentucky, but I live down here in Mississippi. But right now I work for a road painting company. We paint the lines on the roads. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, it's laid back. I mean, there is a lot of downtime. Like today, they had some issues with the striping truck, which is the one that actually, like, it's not really paint that we use. We use this stuff called thermoplastic, and what that is, it's this colored plastic powder. It comes in white and yellow, and sometimes you can get it in blue, like if you have to do like a handicap spot, but that's for like the smaller stuff. But this this machine, it's a big truck. This is like a $2.5 million truck. So what it is, these heaters on there, they heat this plastic up to over 500 degrees, and then it goes down and it bonds with and the heat helps it bond with the asphalt, and it's supposed to last for up to 10 years. Oh yeah, I mean, that's what I do. Yeah, I downloaded it at the beginning of this last week. I'm on Steam, but what it was, I was supposed to meet up with some more people like myself and have a meetup Sunday, and I just figured I would download it, you know, kind of get used to it before, you know, I just jump in. But it ended up I couldn't even get a hold of the moderators because they were offline while we were, you know, when I was supposed to meet up with them, and I never even got into the meetup. So I like it. I've met some pretty cool people. Like where I live, there's not a lot of folks around here where I live that have my particular interest and stuff, so it's nice to actually be able to talk to people who are into the same stuff. But yeah, I'd actually heard that VR was kind of dying out, is what I was told. But I guess, I mean, I found a pretty good number of people on here.
I mean, I like their headset, the Quest 2. Brought a lot of people into VR. I thought that, you know, I think they're going somewhere with that, but I think on the business end, I don't know if that's really gonna go anywhere. Actually, I got a question for you, sir. Are you able to like walk around, like if you were to get up and walk around with your tracking?
If I had more space, I could get up and walk around, but as far as I'm capable right now, I can, you know, you can take a couple steps here and there, but I try and stay in one area so I don't knock into things.
I've had this headset for all about maybe 2 weeks now, so I'm kind of new to it, and I think right now it is pretty niche, you know? Like I have to like have the space in my room for it, and I have to like put on this headset, have controllers. I can't. There is a barrier of entry. It's not as accessible for certain people. The games you can get are a bit more limited.
But I have gone to churches where it's like, you know, fire and brimstone. Are you gonna turn or you gonna burn? It's your choice. And here's what most people don't know about hell. Hell, you know, we've got it in our minds that it's this fire and brimstone, you know, demons and devils and stuff. That's not what it is. It literally is absolute total separation from God. And since God is the light of the world, it's literally a place of darkness. But here's the thing. God doesn't send people to hell, we send ourselves. Basically, you can choose to walk through that door. And when you walk through that door, there's no other, I mean, whenever it's absolute total separation, the despair that's spoken of, you know, when it says you'll be tormented, the torment is you'll remember every single time someone tried to explain to you what it was, but then you look for the doorknob to open that door back up and there's none there. But since you are completely, because if you don't want God, God will allow you to go to a place where he is not. But since, I mean, there, you know, God's not in hell. That's what most people don't understand. So whenever you call out for him and like, you know, please let me come back, he's not going to hear you because he's not there. You didn't want him, so he's like, okay, I gave you every chance, but if this is what you want, then there you go. That was my biggest thing. Like I was a bad alcoholic. I was, you know, going down a really dark road. Some bad things happened in my life, and on top of the fact that, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, I am gay as well as a transsexual. So it's like, you know, I always thought there's no place up there for me, but then he's like, you know, he really explained it like, you know, there is a place up there for me, and like he really opened my eyes to some stuff. And I realized, you know, one of the biggest things that he got me with, he said, if you really pay attention to the things that Jesus was talking about in the New Testament, one of the biggest things that he was preaching against was religion. God doesn't like man's religion. And that's what kind of got me. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Sorry, I didn't mean to go all, you know, like preachy on you guys or anything.
This game is free and uses the plus premium set thing. Meta is corporatism. It's so like you'll see more ads. Perhaps McDonald's and Burger King pops up more often. Here, it's the people are the advertisement. Like if they switch to a Ronald McDonald avatar, they become the ad. You know, that's the difference. One is a big company, Meta. The other one is just VRC people. What is the name of the company? I don't even know it. Like, no one knows what the name is.
I don't know. I think VR is a great way for people to kind of step out if they're feeling a little closed in. Meeting people, it's a very accepting community. Just meet people with similar interests if you're struggling with that in the real life. I've only been here for a couple weeks, but like I've seen how cool and accepting like people are in here. Like there's also some not cool people too, but I don't know. I met Toast. Toast is awesome. I met Chronometria here.
The Quest 2 really changed everything. Like before, man, I really wanted a VR headset, but it was too expensive and was so cheaper. And so, yeah, that changed a lot.
Love everyone. Make sure that you don't take everything too close to heart. Whenever you make a decision, make sure that you think about it before you do it, and continue to be the person you are today. Of course, my little loaf, my little piece of bread. You were a great talk, my guy.
Kindness is contagious. When you are kind, you inspire others. Be the spark. Spreading kindness merchandise available now.